Hello everyone, and welcome to a bit of a different video. Now, I'm quite an avid Formula 1 fan, and in this one, I'm just going to be trying to predict the F1 2025 drivers' standings. So last year was a crazy season, but next year I think it has the potential to be much, much better. So we're going to get straight into it. And as you can see, there are 21 positions instead of 20. And I'll get right into that. So I think last place in P21 will be Jack Doohan, because I think he's going to be replaced. I think he'll last the first half of the season, maybe 7 or 8 races before being dropped. I don't think he will score a single point. I think it'll be a combination of Jack being slow and the Alpine being slow as well. I mean, Alpine have been on the up recently in the last half of last season, but I don't see them going anywhere, in my personal opinion. Moving on from P21, I think will be the slowest car on the grid. In P20, we've got Gabriel Bortolito. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's looking good as a rookie, but I don't think he'll be able to score any points in that horrendously slow tractor of a Sauber. Just above him in P19, this might be controversial, but I'm going to put his teammate Nico Hülkenberg. Now, he had an exceptional season in 2024, but I think moving to that Sauber, it's kind of the end of his career. I don't think maybe he'll score 1 point. Maybe 2, but I think that will be it. I think there'll only be 1 race where he scores points, and that's being generous. That Sauber is atrociously slow. And then in 18th place, I think Isaac Hadjar. Now, he looks good in F2, but I think he's going to be too reckless. I think he'll have so many DNFs. I don't think he'll get dropped, but I think he's going to score a minimal amount of points, and the highest I can put him is 18th. These are going to be horrendously wrong. I can just tell. I'll revisit these when the season finishes. But for now, I'm putting Isaac Hadjar in 18th. Now, in P17, the guy I think will be replacing Jack Doohan is Franco Colapinto. Now, in the Williams in 2024, he was very, very good. But he was really inconsistent. The amount of crashes, the amount of money that he cost Williams in an already financially struggling team. In the Alpine, I think he'd do okay. I think he'll do better than Doohan, but I can't see him being as good as he was in the Williams. That's just my personal opinion. That Alpine might be incredible next year, and Colapinto might come in and get top 10s all the time. We'll see. Just above him in 16th place, then P16, I'm going to put Esteban Ocon. Now, I'm really hoping that the Haas is faster this year, because I really like him. I really like Ocon. I like Haas. Haas are probably one of my favourite teams, but I can see all of the other teams improving just a bit more. So I'm going to be putting Esteban Ocon in P16. Then in P15, this is going to be extremely controversial as well. I'm going to put Pierre Gasly. Now, I know he finished, I think, 10th last season with a podium right at the end. But, again, I don't think that Alpine is going to be anywhere near as good as it should be. And I think Gasly is only going to be able to extract a few points out of that car. I'm really hoping he proves me wrong, because Gasly's a fantastic driver. But for now, he's got to go P15. I can't wait to see how wrong all of these results are. Okay, P14. Now this one of my favourite drivers. I've been following this guy for a long time. I'm going to put Ollie Behrman. Now, the performances he put in last season in the Ferrari and the Haas, absolutely outstanding. I mean, the guy scored points. He has such a high ceiling. It is absolutely unreal. He's going to go to a top team very, very soon. Hopefully, Ferrari, maybe when Lewis Hamilton leaves. But I think Behrman is going to score points than Ocon. Score more points than Ocon even. He'll outscore his teammate. Almost 100% certain. I think Behrman has the potential. He has the pace. He's going to be fantastic. And in P13, just above Behrman, we've got Yuki Tsunoda. Now, that Racing Bulls, I think it will be officially called Racing Bulls instead of RB, was it, last season? I think he's going to be good, but he won't be good enough to get the top positions. Now, he obviously was, in my opinion, maybe cheated out of the... Not cheated, but he deserved that Red Bull seat. I think he's been in the team for long enough, and he's shown enough promise and pace and racecraft now, especially in the last season, to earn that top spot in the Red Bull team. But Lawson, obviously, is a great driver. We'll have to see what he can do. But in my opinion, Tsunoda deserved it just that little bit more. But I think he'll be able to extract a fair bit out of this Racing Bulls car. Definitely more than Hadjar. He will absolutely outqualify and outrace Hadjar in almost every aspect. But P13, I think he'll score around 50 points, maybe 50, 60 odd. But we'll see. And then P12, we've got the GOAT himself, Lance Stroll. Now this one, again, might be a bit controversial because Adrian Newey has come into this team, and I think he'll do an incredible job. I think the Aston Martin is going to be one of the fastest cars, but it's still like putting a toddler in a Lamborghini. This guy won't do anything. I mean, I'm not a Stroll hater. He's too inconsistent to be a Formula 1 driver. There's just too many crashes. He can't race people. And when he does, he crashes and blames it on others. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan, but I'm not a Stroll hater. But I don't think he'll finish any higher than 12th. But what I do think will happen is in P11, I think the Williams are going to have a good car next year. I'm hoping. They are my favourite team. I am dreaming of a Williams top car next year. But I think Albon will come P11, just above Lance Stroll. The Williams team, Albon and Sainz, absolutely outstanding. I love Alex Albon, but hopefully this year he can stop crashing the fucking car. If he costs Williams as much as he did last year, I mean, he's even got a chance of losing his seat maybe to someone more consistent. But he's a good racer. He's got a lot of pace. I think he will. I think the qualifying between Albon and Sainz might be quite close, but I think Sainz will end up outracing Albon. But I think Albon will come just outside the top 10 in P11. As for 10th place, again, might be a little controversial, but I'm going with Kimi Antonelli, or Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Now, he's a fresh rookie, decent driver, well, quite good actually. Toto Wolff is trying to paint him as the next Verstappen, but I don't think he will be that, at least not this season. I think he'll score a good amount of points, but I don't think he'll be anywhere near George Russell. But yeah, P10 for Antonelli. Hopefully he can prove me wrong. I really do like that Mercedes team. And George Russell is one of my favourite drivers. So hopefully the Mercedes is a decent car. But yeah, I think Kimi Antonelli, probably about 10th. Maybe a tiny bit higher, but for now, I'm going to put him in P10. Now, the next two, 9 and 8, I've really been struggling to think of, and these are quite interchangeable. But for the time being, I'm going to put Carlos Sainz in P9. Now, there must be a reason why he chose that Williams team. There must be a decent project going on. And again, I'm really hoping the Williams have a good car next season. And I reckon Sainz will be able to get the absolute maximum out of whatever car they bring out. So I think Sainz will be P9, just above Antonelli. Now P8, this one again was difficult. Sainz and this one are very interchangeable, but I think P8 is going to be Liam Lawson. Now a rookie in that Red Bull that is very clearly designed around Max Verstappen. It's most likely going to be another case of the Red Bull Albon and the Red Bull Gasly, where it's very difficult to get to grips with. It's they'll probably score a good amount of points, get a few podiums maybe, but ultimately, I don't think they're going to be challenging for anywhere near the title. But I think Lawson will do well enough to keep his position. I don't think that he's going to be replaced by Albon halfway through the season. I think Lawson will stay in that Red Bull for the duration. And I think he'll get P8. And then P7. Now this is where it gets tricky. P7, I've put Fernando Alonso. Now again, that Aston Martin with Adrian Newey is going to be a monster next year. And especially the year after. But next year, I think they'll be pushing for podiums in most races. And I think Alonso, even though it is Fernando Alonso, you've got to take into account his age. And he is he on the decline? Not really, but he's not getting better, if that makes sense. He's still an outstanding driver. So I've put him P7. I think he'll get maybe 5 or 6 podiums next year. But I'm going to put him in 7th place. And then P6, I have put George Russell. I think he'll do pretty much the same as he did last year. He'll get a couple of wins, get a few podiums, and I think he'll finish in P6. I really hope he finishes higher because, again, he's one of my favourite drivers on the grid, if not my favourite, even though he can be a little bit of a whiny bitch sometimes. I do like the kind of faux rivalry that him and Verstappen have got going on, and maybe with the Red Bull on the slight decline, maybe that'll be a more hotly contested rivalry next season, where the two drivers are closer than last year. But I think George, yeah, P6, maybe P5 if he's lucky, but he's got the pace. If the Mercedes can pull out an amazing car, he could possibly challenge for like P3 or 4. But not the title next year, or this year even, I don't think. P5 then. Might be controversial once again. I have got Oscar Piastri. Now, he had an amazing season last year. 2 wins, I believe it was, a load of podiums, and he finished in 4th in the standings, I believe. But I think, with Hamilton on the way to Ferrari, I think that'll push Piastri down a little this year. I think he'll get the same number of wins. I still think he'll get 2 this year. And I think he'll finish just above George. He'll probably get more podiums because that McLaren is rapid. But I don't think he's going to finish any higher than 5th place. And then P4. Now this is interesting. I have finishing 4th, Lewis Hamilton. Now I would love for this man to get his 8th title. I'm not Hamilton's biggest fan, but he's British. I have to go with the British bias. I wish he would win his title this year, but it's just not going to happen. He's the age he's got, and that Ferrari, I think, is probably going to be the quickest on the grid, but Hamilton now is just too prone to slipping up. And the pace has gone a little bit. He's not as quick as he used to be, but he's still a fantastic driver, and I really do hope he can win the title this year, but I think realistically, he's going to finish 4th place. I think he'll finish with 4 wins, maybe. I think it's going to be a lot more closely contested this year for wins. So I think he'll finish on 4 wins, maybe 5, boatload of podiums, and 4th place in the standings. And then, top 3. This is where it gets really, really interesting. In 3rd place, this is bold. It's very bold. P3, I'm putting Max Verstappen. I don't think he's going to break into the top 2. I think the Red Bull is on too much of a decline, especially with Adrian Newey going out. Max might even leave Red Bull at the end of, I think it's 2027 or 28. He's got his contract until. Might be even earlier, to be honest. But I think Max will finish in 3rd place this year. I think he'll get 5, maybe 6 wins. Maybe a tiny bit more. But again, boatload of podiums. But I think he'll finish in 3rd. That Red Bull will not be quick enough to match the McLaren or the Ferraris. So, down to the final 2. Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc. And I think finishing in P2 is going to be Lando Norris. I still don't think he's got what it takes to be consistent enough to win the driver's title. I think the title is going to go to Charles Leclerc. I think that Ferrari is going to be monstrous next season, and he'll have what it takes. The consistency has been improving. He's less prone to mistakes now. Hopefully the Ferrari will be mechanically sound and won't have enough or as many engine failures, mechanical problems as it has done in the past. And I think Charles is going to just about clinch the title. I think it will go down to the very last race. It'll be interesting if it does. But I think Norris... I'm going to make a bold prediction here, actually. A bold prediction. I think Norris will end with more wins than Leclerc. But I think Leclerc will take the title overall. So that is my driver standings. Let me know if you disagree, which most of you will, to be honest. I think only one driver will get dropped, and that'll be Jack Doohan. But overall, these are my top 20. It should be a very, very interesting year. So we'll quickly do a recap on my drivers' predictions. So in P1, winning the title, we have Charles Leclerc. P2, we've got Lando Norris. P3 is Max Verstappen. P4 is Lewis Hamilton. P5 is Oscar Piastri. P6 is George Russell. P7 is Fernando Alonso. P8 is Liam Lawson. P9 is Carlos Sainz. P10 is Kimi Antonelli. P11 is Alex Albon. P12 is Lance Stroll. P13 is Yuki Tsunoda. P14 Ollie Behrman. P15 Pierre Gasly. P16 Esteban Ocon. P17 Franco Colapinto. P18 Isaac Hadjar. P19 Hulkenberg. P20 Bortoleto. And P21 dropped halfway through the season is Jack Doohan. So thank you for watching this very different video to usual. Maybe on the channel some Formula 1 career modes very soon. Possibly. We might go back to Pokemon now. Thank you for watching, everyone, and we'll see you in the next one.